right. Well, give me 1 second. All right, people. There's been a lot of people online telling me that I'm living in copium land. After I showed them that PS5 Pro is trash, you guys went out and you spent over $700 on a console that is actually not even as strong as a PlayStation. I mean, many times, actually, it's not even as strong as the regular PlayStation 5. I've told you guys in a video I did a few weeks ago that with the pisser technology, it was actually going to rob resources from the hardware and give you actually lower frame rates in some cases in some PS5 titles. And it's true. It's actually running some games at a lower frame rate than your baseline PlayStation 5. These guys were telling me copium, saying things like, "Oh, this thing runs as good as a PlayStation, not a PlayStation, sorry." They were telling me that it runs as well as a 720 at a 4070. Sorry, I'm a little mixed up. This is the second time I'm doing this damn live stream, all right? I had some issues with my software here. I fixed it, people. I haven't fixed it. I have returned. And I'm here to warn you that you're an idiot. But I can't warn you because you've already gone and done it, haven't you? You went out and you bought that piece of shit console, didn't you? All right, people. I know you're crying a little bit, but I'm here to help you by rubbing it in. Because I warned you a few weeks ago, you got robbed. Sony robbed you again, and now you got to beg them for upgrades. And the upgrades they are giving you look like shit. In some cases, these games on this console, just like I told you a few weeks ago, don't even run as well as an Xbox Series X. Actually, in most cases, most of these games aren't running better. I mean, look, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2 is locked 4K, native 4K, on the Xbox Series X, where on the PS5 Pro, you got yourselves fake 1440p, blurry graphics with lower quality textures. You got yourself the inferior version, all right, of many titles. But one of the reasons I'm making this video is to show you guys, because I keep getting these messages. People act like I care. People, I got a PS5. I already got one. I got a Series X. I have high-end PCs. I have high-end cards. I don't need to care about a PS5 Pro. I'm just telling you what it is. Sony likes scamming people, and I keep saying it. And they've done it once again. So what I got here is the people say I got copium. No, bro, you got copium. Because you're the one who's pretending that this thing is equivalent to a 4070 graphics card. And it couldn't be further from the truth. First of all, you don't get the freedom that you get out of a 4070 when it comes to being able to uncap frame rates, manipulate all kinds of different stuff when it comes to the settings of your individual games. You know, you can do. There's so much more flexibility with a PC and a PC graphics card. You know, you can go out and get patches of a ray traced, where users add the ray tracing. You don't have to go and beg Sony and then pay them money. But even if Sony did add ray tracing to this piece of hardware, this piece of hardware isn't even equipped to even do ray tracing. That's even equivalent to the lowest setting of a 4070, and we're gonna see that in a second. This Digital Foundry did a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that showed Alan Wake running on a PS5 Pro compared to the lowest settings of that same game on a 4070 card. And people were saying, well, it's equal to a 4070. How is it equal to a 4070 when it can't even get ray tracing that's equivalent to the lowest settings running on a 4070? And the lowest setting on a 4070 actually looks way better than the top high settings on the PS5 Pro. We're going to see that in a second. Got the video here. It looks like people getting robbed. You're getting robbed, bro. You gave Sony $700 for this? Are you insane? Okay, this Digital Foundry, let's hear some of this crap.
Choose where you are getting a bit of a better result, I would say, than we're seeing here. In this case, it's kind of like it's an interesting solution. It's trading blows with with FSR, but it's not really quite at that DLSS level. I don't know that we would expect it to be necessarily out of the gate, but I do.
All right, so this is the pisser technology, people. He's saying it doesn't even like compare to the stuff you already have right now, DLSS, right? It's not even on that level. people, you get DLSS on everything. You already got that on your Xbox, and I think it even exists on a PlayStation. So this pisser tech is even on that level. So when you guys come out and say, bro, and people really do believe in this pisser trash. They're like, man, you could buy yourselves like a 4070, but does it have the pisser technology, PSSR? You don't know, people. That's just a reconstruction. That's just another way, and I keep saying it, it's just another way of saying fake resolution. You're acting like they're like, hey man, it's AI. It's AI. Yeah, so is DLSS. That's also AI, isn't it? It dynamically adjusts itself. And all it does, people, many times is that it just applies like these artificial sharpening techniques, like fake sharpening. And Sony is like really guilty of this. People act like this is a good thing. They apply like over sharpening to all their games. Like, for example, look at God of War. The first God of War, that thing is filled with ringing artifacts. The game is way over sharpened. It looks kind of like garbage. When you look at that game, there's too much sharpening, and what I really hate is that you can't turn it off. All right, it doesn't look good. All right, let's hear more of this.
There is still some headroom for improvement here, but that's not obviously the only thing that's interesting on PC, because the ray tracing settings in this game on PS5 Pro are actually not necessarily.
All right, look at this. Okay, so you got their baseline PS5 right on the left. Then you got the quality mode on the right from the PS5 Pro. What's the big difference? Oh, there's some blurry trees on the right. Okay, $700 for some fucking blurry trees, bro?
Corresponding to any particular ray tracing preset?
A quality mode. Okay, so we got the quality mode. You got a reflection. That's cool, bro. That's cool. You got a blurry reflection. What is that, mirror covered in Vaseline? That's the only difference there. You spent $700 for that freaking reflection of this lady?
PC, actually Remedy appear to have made some changes to the ray tracing on PS5.
All right, look at that, people. Look at that quality mode on PS5, and then look at quality mode on the PS5 Pro. You see it? It's just a bunch, dude. If anything, it actually to me looks kind of better on the left. It looks more nuanced on the left. Where on the right, it's this blurry mess.
5 Pro to get it running in a performant manner. So could you talk us through some of those changes and your general impressions of the ray tracing on console relative to the PC version?
Yeah, this one's interesting because once again, slightly black gray box here with the PlayStation 5 Pro. We kind of get a sense then about how good the PS5.
Not a big difference, but we're gonna go and we're gonna look at the difference on the PC compared. 1 second. We're going to go and we're going to look at the PC compared to the PS5 because people keep saying that this thing is equivalent to a 4070. Okay? I'm going to show you right now that's not even close. Okay. 1 second.
It's like one bounce of RTGI in there. Another thing that goes without saying is, like you described earlier, you don't really need to say too much about this.
All right, so here it is. You see it right there. So keep in mind, because people are saying it's equivalent. On the left, on the very far left, you see it. Just like Sony, you know, they got all their weird stuff, Last of Us kind of stuff. They are definitely far left. But I mean, far left on this screen, as you see, you got quality mode on the Pro. Look at the way that lighting looks, and then you got yourself the lowest mode on the 4070, right? That's the lowest RT mode, plus direct light. I guess Sony doesn't have direct light. I have no idea. Let's keep looking at more of this.
There's also no direct lighting.
Look at that flicker. Look at the flickering. Keep in mind, that's the lowest setting on the RTX 4070. On the PS5 Pro, that's the best you're going to get. That's your best, the best. That's your high quality mode.
The RT setting there at all too, so things like shadows and direct lighting are not covered on the PlayStation 5 Pro version of this game.
You know how it thinks it's flickering. There you go. There's on your left. That's your best mode there. All filled. It looks like a shadow out of an NES game.
And I'll go a bit more into that later about why we see some of the differences we see here. But basically, shadows are still done with rasterized shadow maps on the PlayStation 5 Pro version, which this game doesn't have the best quality shadow maps, I would say. I think there are...
Okay, we're going to go forward a little bit more. It gets funnier, people. It gets funnier.
Scenes that are not in the town, and if you're just in the...
All right, look at that shadow there, bro. Oh, it's equal to a 4070, huh? Look at the RT performance. Look at this. And keep in mind, they actually did some tests, and this game was actually running worse on the PS5 Pro compared to a standard PlayStation 5. Look at that chair on that left side. That's your quality mode on your PS5 Pro that you spent $700 on. Once again, keep in mind that the 4070 is a $500 card. It's actually cheaper than your PS5 Pro. Okay? It's actually cheaper. And look at the difference in lighting detail and quality on. And keep in mind, people, again, this is the lowest ray tracing mode running on the 4070. This can actually get much more detailed. And this is kind of how Digital Foundry is kind of they're dishonest. They should be running. Look, if we're going to be running the PS5 Pro's quality mode, then we should be running the PC version at the top, at the highest it can get, right? Instead, they're just running RT low. That's it, just their lowest mode. Let's see it at the top. Let's see it at full quality, right? Because that's what you're getting. We're comparing the two. Let's get full quality. But even, like I said, even at the lowest setting, the PS5 Pro is way below it. Look, that's a blob in the corner, bro. And that's the best that the PS5... The PS5 Pro makes the PC low setting look like next gen.
Forest, for example, or in enclosed rooms, you wouldn't necessarily notice this. But for the bigger scenes where performance matters, they reduce it in a way that's visible. Like just looking across the road here, right as you get control of Saga in the town for the first time, you can see that like stuff in the background is not reflected in the puddles of water.
Yep. Lowest setting.
I think they also mentioned their town that you can see as you overlook the water.
Looks sharper, DLSS. But I thought that pisser technology, bro. That pisser technology, that's AI. That's AI. If it's so good, why does it look so blurry? DLSS looks better than your pisser technology. Like, way better. Look at the reflection detail on the PC. There's reflections all over the place, even at the lowest setting. It makes the PS5 Pro look like last gen. Okay? So stop telling me that this thing is equivalent to the 4070 card, because it's not. Definitely not in ray tracing performance. That's for damn sure. All right, give me 1 second. Gonna go forward. I'm gonna show you some of the interesting bits here. Okay, gonna go forward a little bit more. Right there, people. There's so much stuff here that this thing is missing so much detail. It's insane. I'm gonna look for the performance part because I think that's the real juicy part. Okay, this one's really interesting too. Let's see this. All right, look at the reflection there on the right. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. This is the lowest RT mode on the 4070. It's running on a 4070. Obviously, you could run this on other cards, but they decided to run it on the 4070, which was probably dishonest because I bet you they could have ran this benchmark, though, whatever they're doing here, on a 3060, a card that's like $200 to $300, and it would have outperformed the PS5 Pro. But they wanted to go and compare it to a 4070, you know, to kind of, I guess, kind of even it out in a way for some reason. But once again, look at the difference in detail. That's the PC's low setting RT, and it looks miles above the PS5 Pro's best.
To just the game's GI solution.
Look how much sharper. Not only is there more reflection RT data in there when you look at it. Look, it's got the tree, like the PlayStation Shadow, like reflection is missing all kinds of detail in there. And then you look at, you know, the extra detail, and then you see the clarity in there. I mean, look at that reflection, that quality mode.
Which gives it like an orange tinge instead of the color of the sky. And you can, I'd say this is not super noticeable in a lot of scenes, but there are some scenes where it's more particularly noticeable, like inside the diner. If you look at the wall there, there's this like wood paneling, but it's apparently just a rough enough wood.
Look at that weird shimmer on there. It looks like absolute garbage. Like this thing isn't equipped to do ray tracing. So what was the point of even putting it out? It doesn't. Maybe it'll make your PlayStation games that are actually for PS4 games. It'll make your PS5 games, which are PS4 games, look better because they don't have any of these ray tracing features. But when you go into current gen games or games that actually use modern features like ray tracing, it starts to look like absolute garbage. It's not up to snuff with, you know, this is less than a mid-range card. Like there's 3060 could probably do ray tracing better than your PS5 Pro. And keep in mind, you can get a 3060 for like $200.
Wood where there's just no reflections there in comparison to the PC version's lowest setting there on the RTX 4070.
PS5 Pro can't even compete with the lowest settings on the PC, the lowest. So that means that once again, you can run these settings on a 3060 probably very comfortably. Look at all the data that's missing on the PS5. It's missing almost all the lighting data. It just looks like trash. It looks like absolute garbage.
Indeed. So it can show up more often and lead to a scene that has less reflections, kind of like you talked about with the wood earlier between the old version and the new version.
Once again, all these people want to say copium. I don't need copium, bro. It's you that's got the copium. You're the one that's trying to pretend that you spent $700. It was well spent. Look at that. Look at all that data. PC, lowest ray tracing settings. PS5 Pro can't even come close to the PC's lowest settings. Lowest. Beta. You guys went out and spent your money on this piece of trash. You guys are a bunch of betas. You just got ripped off again. And I warned you, bro. You got ripped off again. And Sony's gonna, even if they gave you some upgrades, this thing could barely handle upgrades.
The reflections on these references.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
You talked about it with like,
look at that beautiful RT detail.
Particularly on the wooded surfaces that have like an uneven finish to them. Yeah, it just looks way less stable. Almost distractingly so, where I would want them to like go in here and maybe try and clean that up. Just to keep the game visually consistent. But there's actually an interesting plus side effect of the
wow, isn't that so beautiful? It looks like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil, the remake they did of Resident Evil 2. That's what it looks like. It looks like shit. It looks like Diddy was living in your freaking house, man. Look at that. Full Diddy all over your floor. Disgusting.
The reflections being a good deal noisier at times is that the denoiser seems to be a lot more.
Maybe there's radiation. Maybe it's your PS5. Look at that. What is this? Silent Hill? The game? Silent Hill, huh?
Reactive. It doesn't seem to temporally weight things so heavily. So like if you look at this scene in the beginning where I'm comparing.
You guys went on and bought this trash. You're a bunch of betas.
Running the two, there's multiple denoisers on PC, but the low setting for the denoiser in the middle and the right is ray reconstruction.
Look at that, people. Look at that. The PC's got way more reflections, and also they look cleaner, you know?
You can see that...
But those things look like dicks. What the F?
As the guy's dancing around the little mascot guy in the distance, you can see that his reflection updates one...
I guess it's supposed to be a spray can or something?
One, more or less, on the PlayStation 5 Pro side. But if you look in the middle with that low denoiser setting, you can see that it's kind of like lagging behind and it's not updating as quickly as you'd like. And actually, I would argue in a scene like this one, the issues that PlayStation 5 Pro have actually are a really great plus point because it's not lagging behind a whole bunch, which I find distracting actually. But also shows something that we can maybe expect for PlayStation 5 Pro in the future on the far right side, or even PlayStation 6, where we see ray reconstruction.
Yeah, PS6. Is that also going to look like trash? Is that what's going to happen? It's going to look like trash. Look at this. People, PS5 Pro people, that ain't Pro. That's the PlayStation 5 Amateur. Look at that shit. Look on the right. Look on the right side, the 4070. Lowest settings. Look how smooth it looks. Look at the PS5 Pro. It's missing all kinds of reflection data. Tons of it. Look in the middle. Look at all that data you're losing. They did soft reflections on the right, it looks like. Low plus RR. RT low. Everything's low. They're comparing your PS5 Pro at its max RT settings for this title to the lowest PC preset, and it doesn't even come close. It's missing loads of RT data. The PS5 Pro is a useless piece of junk. But in reality, they should have compared the PS5 Pro to the Xbox version. And why didn't they do that? I'm probably going to have to go and do that. Because I bet you these reflections might possibly look better on the Xbox. These RT reflections. I would not be shocked.
Less often is actually a great compromise that makes a lot of sense if you're just doing reflections. I don't think I would like this kind of low quality mode on PC as well as an option, but it doesn't notably work with some of the other options there that are on PC. Like you can't use a lower quality BVH and lesser update rate. Noted earlier.
All right, let's see the frame rates.
In the forest scene of the game, it can drop below 60 FPS for a continuous.
All right, so there you go, guys. Your performance mode on your PS5 Pro compared to your baseline, basic, regular PS5. You see, though, look at that. The PS5, the basic one actually has a frame rate. That's a little higher.
Bout, right? If depending upon where you are in that forest.
57 to 53. So in your performance mode on your amazing new $700 console, you have lower performance.
And that is a perfect opportunity to do comparisons to PC where we have the same settings, with the only setting difference being PSSR. We cannot obviously run PSSR on PC, but we can run DLSS, at least at the same resolution. And there we find some really interesting stuff. First, I compared with the RTX 4070 because we said kind of pre-launch that.
Look at that difference, people. Once again, people were comparing this PS5 Pro to a 4070. Look at the difference in the frame rate. Look at the fucking frame rates. Look at that. Lowest settings on the PC, right? They're doing same settings as a PS5 Pro. And people say, oh, well, they might be using a different CPU. But what they're doing is they're trying to use comparable hardware. Hardware that's it's similar to a PS5 Pro. That's what they did. And even with that, they're trying to match settings. 71 frames. Your PS5 Pro can't even get to 60.
This is like a GPU in the NVIDIA stack that we think will be comparing
struggling
often to the PS5 Pro. Well, in this title,
just stop comparing the PS5 Pro to a 4070, please. It's not on that level. This is low settings, DLSS. These PCs, they can pump that up even further. This isn't even close to what the 4070 can do. They're just doing it at low settings. They're not make you feel bad, I guess. What they should have done is put the 4070 at max settings and then compared it to the PS5 Pro's best settings, its quality mode. And we'll see which one is outperform or which one looks better.
At least it is a lot faster at the same settings, just using DLSS.
And I see a lot of people on this site just lying their ass off when it comes to this piece of shit. This thing is a piece of garbage, okay? It's just it's a scam. Yet another scam from Sony, a company that's been scamming people for a long time.
The differentiating factor where in this scene it's running 43% better, the RTX 4070, looking in the same direction here. That's a big difference. So, but going down, we see smaller differences, like going back to the last generation Ampere card, the RTX 3070, that's a little less than 10% faster than the PS5 Pro in this scene. But we should really make note here that this is exclusive to this title. I think there's a lot of other titles where the RTX 3070 would be a lot slower because it's running out of VRAM. I also compared to the RTX.
All right, guys, you see it. All right, you see it. Performance mode. Look at that. 49 frames. All right, 49 frames. The other one is doing 4K DLSS, and that says 864p, I guess. Some weird. I don't know how that works. How do you take 4K and you make it into 864p? I don't get it. What is that?
And that is 2% slower on average in this scene.
Yeah, look at the performance difference. All right, we're gonna go forward a little bit, see what's going on. They're showing some other stuff.
We've kind of seen, at least in the backwards compatibility mode that the PlayStation 5 Pro offers, that when it's using boost mode, it is not necessarily bumping up performance as much as we maybe thought it could versus what its specs imply. And at least in Alan Wake here, it is slightly performing less.
All right, so I don't know what this game is. I don't know if it's a PS4 game or what. It could run this better. It's just like, this is like a rare case, because I've seen many games running way worse on this thing than on a standard PS5. Another one is Until Dawn. Like the PS5 baseline one can run Until Dawn at basically lock 60. On this PS5 Pro, it doesn't do that. It goes below that. It goes like around the 50s and 40s because it's using that PSSR crap.
Than I would have thought it would pre-launch. At least
also, dude, you're paying $700 more. You can't even get 60 frames.
regarding in comparisons to PC parts. So I think that's interesting. Run around with that information and say what you will.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Alan Wake 2 is an interesting data point, but it's just one data point, and we...
Right.
Yeah, it's just one data point. There are many more. There are many, many more. I'm going to show them on the channel since people want to keep saying copium. I'm going to show the comments real fast. We got some people in there. We got Alonzo in there. Give me 1 second. 1 second, please. Not trying to be a troll, guys. I'm just trying to point this out. I got a lot of people telling me how I just don't know what I'm talking about. I've been told this many, many times. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I predicted a lot of this stuff that was going to happen with this PS5 Pro. I even predicted you were going to get fucking ripped off, and that's exactly what happened. Remember to subscribe to the Real Food TV, people. It's a great channel on demand. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, we got Alonzo is asking me why am I doing this? Why am I doing a game video, bro? Because it's a variety channel. Okay, give me 1 moment. I don't know what's up with the chat. What's up with this chat over here? What's up with the damn chat? I gotta fix it. I'm always having to fix this. This is annoying. The thing is, I was supposed to configure this before the video, but this thing crashed. It messed up. There was some glitches in it, so I had to go and fix that. And then there were some other things I didn't fix. It's just the way it is, people. Doing these streams is sort of like flying a space shuttle sometimes. You got to do like 50 checks before you do it. Okay, here it is. Wait. Okay, we're going to try to line this up. There it is. Yo, what are you doing? What are you doing talking about? What are you doing talking? I guess he says talking about video games during cruiserweight unification. I didn't even know there was a boxing going on today. These guys got to do a better job advertising. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I'll go check that out. Thanks a lot, man. You go check that out in a minute. I want to thank you all who came on here and watched this. This has been Sony PS5 Pro is trash. You've been watching Food TV Live. This is the Real Food TV. Remember to subscribe to the Real Food TV. And I'll see you guys in your dreams. All right. I'm kidding. I won't see you in your dreams. I'll see you in your nightmares. Because I'm not trolling. I'm not effing trolling. This is just the damn truth. I told these guys, they're the ones who want to talk trash and pretend like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why you went out and bought a PS5 Pro. I'm sorry, man. Sorry you got suckered. I really am sorry. I'm crying a little bit. But see you guys soon. I'll be back. I'm going to be playing some of that new Call of Duty. I haven't played it at all. I'm going to play a little. I did like the online the last time I played it. And I might be coming back today to do a live play-by-play of UFC 309, I think it might be. I forget which number it is. John Jones versus Stipe. I think it's going to be really funny if Stipe knocks John Jones out. That'd be hilarious. And that would actually mean a lot to the history of the sport. It tells you a lot about where John Jones really is in the in the lens of history. How good was he really? All right, guys. See you later.